Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8, from the director of Rain Man, the story of an immigrant family living the American dream, Avalon. And at 10:10, Michael McKean and Elliot Gould star in the painfully funny new series, Sessions. Then at 10:45, a fling turns the life of a married man into a living nightmare in Body Chemistry. Avalon, Sessions, and Body Chemistry. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8, a retired kickboxer seeks revenge back in the ring in Kickboxer 2, The Road Back. Then at 9:30, Charlie Sheen's learning the tricks of the trade from Clint Eastwood in The Rookie. And at 11:30, Demi Moore stars in a chilling chapter of Tales from the Crypt. Viewer discretion advised. Kickboxer 2, The Rookie, and Tales from the Crypt. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 10:30, it's a brand new episode of the sexy, funny HBO comedy series, Dream On. Then at 11, you'll be too creeped to sleep when you see Tales from the Crypt. And at 11:30, Rutger Hauer is a maverick cop hunting down a vicious serial killer in Split Second. Dream On, Tales from the Crypt, and Split Second. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. It's Godfather night. Starting at 8, Marlon Brando and Al Pacino star in the award-winning saga, The Godfather. And at 11, the epic continues with Robert De Niro in The Godfather Part 2. Then at 2:30, it's a deadly all-star cast in Tales from the Crypt. Viewer discretion advised. The Godfather Part 2, Tales from the Crypt. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight is worth waiting for on HBO. At 9:30, World Championship Boxing presents Riddick Bowe facing ex-champ Michael Dokes for the heavyweight title live. Then at 11, an Arizona sheriff investigates the past in A Climate for Killing. And at 12:45, Tracy Lords battles a drug-dealing psycho, Intent to Kill. World Championship Boxing, A Climate for Killing, and Intent to Kill. Television worth waiting for, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 9:30, he'll give you the creeps. The Crypt Keeper is back with another one of his Tales from the Crypt. Then at 10, it's the sexy adults-only comedy series, Dream On. And at 11, it's rock and roll, coffee, and love. Matt Dillon and Bridget Fonda are singles. Tales from the Crypt, Dream On, and Singles. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Last of the Mohegans. Then at 10, when you're a kid on the street, the only place to go is where the day takes you. And at 11:45, pack your bags. Tracy Ullman takes on New York. Last of the Mohegans, Where the Day Takes You, and Tracy Ullman. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8:30, Tom Hanks, Melanie Griffith, and Bruce Willis star in the Bonfire of the Vanities. Then at 11, see pro football from the inside on this week's edition of Inside the NFL. Then at 12, it's an exclusive sports television event, Play-by-Play, a history of sports television, Game 1. The Bonfire of the Vanities, Inside the NFL, a history of sports television. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, HBO's got it. At 8, Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves are riding waves, crime waves in Point Break. And at 10, The Badge is back with a few laws of his own, Maniac Cop 2. Then at 11:30, he's the freshest face of comedy, the HBO Comedy Hour, Damon Wayans, The Last Stand. Point Break, Maniac Cop 2, and Damon Wayans. Get it while it's hot, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8, Kyle MacLachlan is caught in the Attica prison riots in the HBO original movie, Against the Wall. Then at 10, a blind murder witness is being stalked by the killer in Eyewitness to Murder. And at 11:15, Real People, Real Stories, Real Sex 8. Against the Wall, Eyewitness, and Real Sex 8. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8, lightweight greats of the past reminisce in this corner, boxing's little giants. Then at 9, an ex-con and his hostage babe team up to overpower their android captors in Project Shadow Chaser. Then at 10:30, Martin Lawrence hosts the hippest stand-up, Def Comedy Jam. In this corner, Project Shadow Chaser and Def Comedy Jam. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8, Goldie Hawn's coaching football in a bad school, but knows all the right moves in Wildcats. Then at 10, America's Undercover series takes a disturbing look at danger in the workplace in Death on the Job. Then at 11, the dynamic duo of Mel Gibson and Danny Glover are back in Lethal Weapon 2. Wildcats, Death on the Job, and Lethal Weapon 2. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, HBO's got it. At 8, Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore, and Oscar winner Whoopi Goldberg star in Ghost. And at 10:15, the laughs are on the house. It's One Night Stand, command performance, Ellen DeGeneres. Then at 11, Harrison Ford and Annette Bening star in the drama Regarding Henry. Ghost, Ellen DeGeneres, and Regarding Henry. Get it while it's hot, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. First at 8, a DA is accused of murder. Harrison Ford stars in Presumed Innocent. And at 10:10, join Will Schreiner, Ellen DeGeneres, and Jeff Martyr for the HBO test drive where you can win a new Chevrolet. Then at 10:30, sit back for laughs with the HBO Comedy Hour. Gary Shandling, Stand Up. Presumed Innocent, HBO test drive, and Gary Shandling. It could only happen here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 9, a tough cop and his karate-loving partner fight the mafia in Hard Case and Fist. Then at 10:30, the most outrageous stand-up on TV, Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam. And at 11, ex-CIA man Harrison Ford stars in Tom Clancy's espionage thriller, Patriot Games. Hard Case and Fist, Def Comedy Jam, and Patriot Games. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8, Scott Bakula stars in the gridiron comedy Necessary Roughness. And at 10, he goes where no other talk show host dares to, The Larry Sanders Show starring Gary Shandling. And at 10:30, America Undercover looks inside the mind of a killer, The Iceman Tapes, Conversations with a Killer. Necessary Roughness, The Larry Sanders Show, and The Iceman Tapes. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8, he's the guy who shot JFK. Danny Aiello is Ruby. Then at 10, he's the talk of late night, The Larry Sanders Show starring Gary Shandling. And at 10:30, it's another episode of the sexy adults-only HBO comedy series Dream On. Ruby, Larry Sanders, and Dream On. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8, Sean Connery stars in the undersea thriller, The Hunt for Red October. And at 10:30, Malcolm McDowell plots an interplanetary business scheme in Moon 44. Then at 12:15, when Kevin Costner meets Sean Young, he uncovers a government scheme and finds there's no way out. The Hunt for Red October, Moon 44, and No Way Out. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8, Michelle Pfeiffer, Susan Sarandon, Cher, and Jack Nicholson star in The Witches of Eastwick. Then at 10, it's the best hour of comedy on TV. First, The Larry Sanders Show starring Gary Shandling. And at 10:30, it's the sexy adults-only comedy series Dream On. Witches, Larry Sanders, and Dream On. It could only happen here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8, Danny DeVito is a ruthless Wall Street raider in the premiere of Other People's Money. Then at 9:45, it's the HBO free preview and watch and win sweepstakes with your host, Rob Weller. And at 10, Martin gives a crash course in sex education. It's an all-new episode of the smash comedy Dream On. Other People's Money, HBO free preview, and Dream On. It all happens here, tonight on HBO. Tonight, it all happens here on HBO. At 8, Clint Eastwood's award-winning Western, co-starring Gene Hackman and Morgan Freeman, Unforgiven. Then at 10:30, it's The Larry Sanders Show, starring Gary Shandling. And at 11, Francis Ford Coppola's epic love story with a bite. Gary Oldman is Bram Stoker's Dracula. Unforgiven, Larry Sanders, and Dracula. It all happens here, tonight on HBO.